All right. Hey guys, so it's Liam. Hi, Drizzly Keneally here. I've got an interesting thing that we're starting today, and it is that we're going to be interviewing some different people from the esports scene. It's going to start revolving around Halo, and today I've got someone who I'm really excited to talk about. This person has got so much passion for the game Halo, for what they're doing with their content creation, that I can't wait to have a bit of a chat, get to know him a little bit more. But Tony, you want to give yourself a bit of an overview, introduce yourself, let everyone know who you are?
Yo, what's up, guys? This is Why Not Be Reckless, aka Why Not Be Casting, aka I'm kind of a freaking big deal. If you don't know, now you know.
Awesome, man. And so yeah, like I said, I've got to get an intro like that. I got to get some kind of tagline like that, man, because that just sounds so wicked when introducing yourself. But how did you come up with that?
To be honest with you, I have no clue. One day I just kind of said it in a broadcast, and then I just said it again and again, and it ended up being my thing. Now the merch coming soon.
Yeah, awesome, man. I hope so. Speaking of merch, but yeah. So we were just saying before, kind of having a chat. Whereabouts are you? You're in America, yeah?
Yes, I am in America. I grew up in New Jersey. I lived there most of my life up until about maybe 2 years ago, where I came down here to Atlanta, Georgia, and yeah, it's been this experience. Like, you probably hear my voice, my accent. I have the Jersey accent. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Yeah. I love that, man. I love how many different accents Americans have, and because I'll be completely honest with you, our stereotype American accent that like we hear in Australia is super annoying. But being in Canada and getting to kind of hear the Canadian accent and a few others, there's some really nice accents that kind of stick out. But we'll kind of go through. I was explaining to you off screen, but just so everyone else knows, we're going to get to know Tony a little bit. We're going to get to know about his content creation, kind of his part that he's playing in the Halo scene for now, and everything like that. So, how old are you as well?
It's funny. Every time someone asks me that, I always respond with, "A woman never reveals her age." This is the first time we telling it. So everybody, a lot of people know I've had a birthday November 5th, but I never told it. I told everybody I turned 21 again, or a woman never reveals her age. I actually just turned 30.
30. Awesome,
I finally admitted it. This is the first time that I admitted it on screen.
Hey, there you go. Well, I appreciate the what's it called when it's only when you see something here first? What's that called?
The breaking news, I guess, the exclusive, if you will.
The exclusive, yeah. Thanks for the exclusive. Only on the Divine Mind podcast, hey. So, no, I'm 28, and I keep saying, telling everyone I'm 30, because I just feel like age is this point, right, where everyone keeps saying, "Oh, you're getting close to 30," and I feel like if I just introduce myself as 30, like if people ask how old I am, then it's like I don't care, like. I would love to tell this story, and a few people that kind of watch the content regularly might get annoyed at me for saying this, but I haven't ever said it to you. I started content creation in 2009 with Halo 3 in the beginning of Halo Reach, right? And I put out like a video a day for a year on YouTube, and it just never took off. It never got anywhere. And people told me, grow up, go and get a real job, do all this stuff. And I unfortunately / fortunately listened to them. And here we are, like 10 plus years later, where I still want to be playing video games every day, and I still want to be doing content creation around it. And I've got so much more passion for it now. The benefit was I got a lot of life skills out of it. But so no, that's cool, man. That's cool. 30 years old. When did you start the gaming side of things? Is it something you've done your whole life, or?
No, not at all. I guess I've had multiple stints. It was phases in gaming. So I started with the Super Nintendo. That's why it was my first system. Eventually, my first player versus player was PlayStation 2. I used to go to a buddy's house. We used to play like fighting games and sports games. We just played a little one-on-one action. Yeah. Eventually, I stopped gaming completely. Started playing basketball. Until I injured my knee, and everybody always says I was gonna go pro until I injured my knee. I was not gonna go pro. I was far from it, but still, I messed up my knee, and I needed something to fill my competitive void. Something was in me that wanted that hole that wanted to be filled. So I used to go to a buddy's house and over the suburbs, and he had Halo 2 on a tube TV. Mind you, Halo 3 is already out, but we would 1v1 and 2v2 on a tube TV, Halo 2, and I fell in love with that. So I got myself an Xbox 360, got myself Halo 3, and pretty much never turned back.
Yeah, man, those were the days. Those were the days. I unfortunately never got Halo at that point in my life, but I lived through the nostalgia of those stories because I remember even just when I started playing Halo 3 when I think I was like 18. No, it must have been 17, first year out of high school. I didn't get an Xbox until first year out of high school. And I just remember the feeling of late nights trying to play ranked, watching the sun come up behind the TV set with my mate Ben in his garage, like there was just some good times I had. But so when you first started playing and it was Super Nintendo, you said first, what was the standout game from your childhood that is like that's my childhood game?
The craziest thing is I don't even remember it that well. Like I don't remember like what drew me to the game. I have no clue, but I think it was a game called Ninjas and Battletoads. I'm not even so it was like so the Battletoads I kind of like the Ninja Turtles. They were like a fake Ninja Turtles, and then there was like 3 like almost Street Fighter kind of players, and you could play co-op. I had a buddy of mine that was a neighbor. We played co-op once, I think, and he chose a Battletoad. I chose a Ninja, and then you went throughout the story mode in this 2D plane, fighting some things I don't even know. But I remember it's funny because I don't remember the specifics, but I remembered the game, and I have a terrible memory.
Yeah. But that's awesome, man. Like it comes from everywhere. I think honestly I can't even remember. I think Pokemon was the first game I ever played, like Pokemon Yellow or something when I was like 5. But like the childhood games are definitely like Mario games for me, like Super Mario on the Super Nintendo, and then on the Nintendo 64 with Mario 64. Like that game was so I could play that game every day now. Like that was so beyond its time. But so Halo 2 was the first Halo. When did you get into Halo? Like when was playing Halo like something that you started doing regularly?
Well, like I said, Halo 2 was kind of my first Halo, but again, like I said, it was already after Halo 3 already came out.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that really even counts. Halo 3 was the first game that I went out and I bought. Now, mind you, the funny part about this is like, so I grew up, my family wasn't very wealthy and whatnot. I grew up in the wannabe hood, I guess. Like it wasn't the best of places, and I didn't have a lot of money. I was working minimum wage at like Dunkin' Donuts at the time. So in order to get an Xbox 360, I had to go to what we call a rent-a-center. And I was paying per week for the Xbox 360. But if you do the math, I paid about 3 times the amount of what a 360 costs because I went to rent-a-center because I didn't save. As you know, normally you would save up and buy it all at once. But I was young and I wanted it right now. All my friends had it. I wanted to play Halo, exactly. Yeah. So I paid 3 times the amount over the course of probably like 3 years. I didn't even know to get the Xbox 360. Got Halo 3. But man, it was like, again, when I used to play Halo 2, I already knew I was in love. Once I got Halo 3, it took off from there. And then once I met up with a couple of people that told me, they were like, hey, yeah, like, I was playing Team Slayer, Big Team Battle. They were like, you could play this game competitively. And like at one point Halo was on TV. I'm like, shut up. They're like, oh yeah, it was on TNT. Watch this YouTube video. And I'm like, wait, what? There's a and I was like, no, I want to be a part of this. I want to be a part of this.
Yeah. Do you remember? I don't know. It could have been different in Australia. No, I think it was on YouTube that I saw it. But ESPN Top 10 presented by Chris Puckett for Halo 3.
It's funny you say that. I have a series, it's plays of the week, and I give a Chris Puckett like hype breakdown. Yeah. And then afterwards, what I do is I rewind the video and then give it like a Shyway kind of analytical breakdown. And there's a lot of graphics that come. My editor does a fantastic job. Shout out to Xander. Fantastic job. And it brings a different dimension to it. So I'll send you a link. You're gonna watch it with me. You're gonna watch it.
Oh, dude, you definitely need to send me a link. Like this is one of the reasons why I wanted to do this. I didn't even know that series existed, right? But like I am the most, and all the guys in the new recruits will kind of vouch for this. I'm the most supportive person in the Halo community. If I can find the content, like I literally spend time on YouTube and on Instagram just going and searching through hashtags to find people putting out content. Even then, you still miss things, right? So you're definitely gonna gonna link me that, and when I'm gonna watch it, and I'm gonna make sure that I've got notifications on, so every time a new episode comes up, I'm the first person in the comments. We had Mint Blitz actually. I comment on his Instagram posts every single time I get a notification. I jump in there, the first comment, and he's like, "I get it. You've got notifications on," and I was like, "Yeah." It's one of those things, you know. But okay. So in Halo 3, what was your highest rank? What did you end up getting to?
Highest rank in Halo 3 was 47 in Lone Wolves. Never got my 50. Oh, I'm sorry. I got my 50 in doubles in the last, like, I didn't even do it on my main account. I made a Smurf in order to do it. And we did it in doubles, but that wasn't like, I mean, doubles like the easiest playlist to get a 50 in besides SWAT. I think I got a 50 in SWAT as well. But like Lone Wolves, I got the 47. And I think in the MLG playlist, I think I went as high as like 45.
Wow.
Never got a 50 in MLG though. Never got a 50.
Wow, but that's hectic, man. That is way beyond what I would have been doing back in Halo 3. I ended up getting a 50, but like many years later, and my mates in real life love joking about the fact that I got carried the whole way there, and I got carried the majority of the way there. So, but that's awesome. You got a 50 in doubles, you got 47 in Lone Wolves, and up to like a 45 in MLG. Like,
which is funny you mentioned that, because like so when I first got Halo 3 after which was shortly after I got injured, some guys I used to play basketball with, they used to play Halo 3 and they used to play like, you know, on the week, every weekend. They were like legit 45s and whatnot. And this is when I first got it. So it was funny because me and a buddy of mine, we played them in a 2v2 and they beat us like 25-0 for 25-2. And we never played the game. And towards the end of Halo 3, right before Reach came out, me and the same guy played. Now, mind you, my buddy, he was kind of playing casually. I was playing competitively. And then we beat them 25-10. So it was funny to see like my beginning of the Halo, like they wrecked me on the first day I ever played. And then towards the end, came right back at them.
Yeah. Oh man, awesome. And that would have felt so good as well, because like I remember when I was younger, you idolized those players. You know, like it was so much less toxic than what I've experienced in like Halo Reach was probably the most toxic, and then it kind of died down in Halo 4 because the population died down, and then Halo 5 I feel like it's it's only competitive between MCC and Halo 5. But I feel like in Halo 3 you'd idolize, or maybe it was just because I wasn't as good a player, and when I played against someone that had 50 and they played really well, I was always like, holy crap, that guy is insane. You know, like I got memories of like playing big team, and you know, like I'm in a Warthog trying to get, trying to get kills with my mate in a Warthog, and the guy sticks us, and it's like, oh my god, he stuck the Warthog. You know what I mean? So yeah, great. It would have been a great experience getting wrecked by them at the start, and then practicing and getting better, and then beating them later on.
It's funny you mentioned that. Like when we didn't have sticky grenades, or when a Warthog was coming at us, like my buddy, he was the dumbest player in the world, I swear. He used to have he'd have a rocket launcher, and when he ran out of ammo on the rocket launcher, he'd keep it on his back. So when a Warthog was coming at him, he'd whip out the rocket launcher and jump up. Yeah. And every Warthog player would think it has a rocket in there, even though it's empty. So they'd swerve, knock over, all the players would fall out.
There you go. It's the pro level strats, man. It's the pro level strats. So at what point in that kind of Halo journey, Halo 3, when did you go, all right, I want to start doing some content. I want to start putting some stuff together. I want to be more involved in the content creation side of things.
Well, you know, it's funny because you kind of hinted at it, and you kind of were living my dream. So in Halo 3, I started playing competitive towards the end, and it was about Reach. Or Reach, I was solely playing competitive. Like at the end of Halo 3, I was only playing 8s. I stopped playing matchmaking. I cut off all my social friends for a bit. Eventually, I met back with them, but I was immersed in competitive play. Like, and as soon as that, I feel bad. I'm like, wow, I have some really good friends that I just stopped playing with because I was pursuing going pro or whatever. Halo Reach came out, and that's when I was all about competitive, and I took the game a little bit different. Like I was able to be successful in the game without being necessarily individually a god. Like I wasn't out shooting everybody, but through in-game leadership, through putting shots, staying alive, and playing good fundamental team shooting Halo. That's how I was able to find success, and I wanted to share that with everybody. I wanted to show so many people that you don't have to be like this 1v1 god and be, wrecking everybody in house and winning all your individual gunfights in order to be successful and beat some of these top players and even these pros. You can do it in a different way by putting 2 shots, staying alive, having your teammate come in and clean it up. And I wanted to share that and do coaching, analytical breakdown work. But to be honest with you, I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know where to start. So I wanted to do it as far as reach, but I ended up I had no idea where to start.
Yeah. Well, dude, I remember like the thing I think I must have been like 18 when I started, because I'm 28 now, so that makes sense, right? And or it must have been the end of 17, and I got a POG, I think it was called, and it was a capture device, and it was like this big, and on the back of it there was no HDMI's. It was the
Dazzle.
What's that?
Is it called the Dazzle capture card?
No, it was called a POG.
I'm sorry, POG.
Yeah. Maybe in the post edit, I'll put a picture of it on our faces so people can see what I'm talking about. Right. But this thing, again, like for someone who, should have been out, studying or doing something else, it cost me like $300. It was this thing, and it recorded, I think 720p was like the top thing it would do. And, yeah, I mean, I've still got those videos on High Disney on the YouTube, on that channel there. So it's I actually go back and watch them every now and again, just because it was, it was cool to do it. But it was never getting anywhere, and it was unfortunate because Halo had also, it's been on the deathbed for a long time as far as viewership, but like it was kind of like on its way down. So less and less people were kind of watching what I was doing, and that type of thing. So I ended up going and doing real life. But so you wanted to do it at Reach. Did you play Halo 4 much?
So I was playing competitive like 8s, like we never touched matchmaking at Reach. I had a group of people I played with, and actually, which is funny because some of those players now are like top amateur players, like Silence, PSYLINC. He used to play with us all the time. Commonly, these players used to be in our 8s lobbies all the time. I never went to an event, sadly. Like I said before, I didn't grow up in like the richest or most wealthiest families and whatnot, and I wasn't making a lot of money even when I was working myself. I was working minimum wage, so I couldn't fly out to an event. I wasn't, and I was far from getting sponsored. I was far from that. But I did play a lot of Halo 4, and Halo 4 was the first event that so AG. I remember AGL by any chance? It was instead of MLG, AGL. Yeah, they came to New Jersey.
Wow.
And it was the only event that ever came into New Jersey that I was playing in. And I was like, guys, this is my time. So I teamed up with the likes of Simply Saintly, Little Country, and Plague. We went to AGL New Jersey together, and it was my first and only event to this day that I actually competed in. Yeah. And it was awesome. I got knocked into the losers bracket by Aptitude, MLG Queen's brother, who was like this big game battles guy. He was going like 50-0 and whatnot. I'm sorry. I lied. I got knocked into losers bracket by Spartan and L-Town. Mind you, nobody had any idea who those guys were, by the way. So they not, and I'm like, dang, man, I got knocked out by this guy I never heard of. And then eventually we met Aptitude in the losers bracket, and we played lights out. We actually took them to game 5. Yeah. But they ended up beating us. So, but yes, awesome. I loved Halo. I loved Halo 4. It will have a special place in my heart because it was the first event that I was actually able to go to and compete in. Yeah. Because it was a local. For me, it was a local.
Yeah, it was close. That leads me into a question I wanted to ask you anyway. What's like your top gaming memory from all those years?
Top game. It's weird. I mean, if I was gonna say, I guess that Halo 4 event would probably be my top gaming actual. No, I wouldn't. That's my best competition memory. I'm going to say my top gaming memory. I'll give you another story. I like stories. So a lot of people know me from Esports Arena. A lot of people, that's what a lot of people recognize me from casting Esports Arena. And so I applied to be a caster Esports Arena a long time ago, and I got denied instantly. I didn't have a casting montage. I didn't have a highlight reel. I was working SWAT Nation at the time and a couple other small events, but Esports Arena, this outside company, had no clue who I was, and I really didn't have much to show for myself at the time. So I got denied instantly.
How long ago was that? When did you first apply to do that?
This is when they first started coming in via the 2v2s. They were doing 2v2s when they first started coming in. They had did 2 events in 2v2s, and then I applied, and then eventually they converted over to the 4v4s eventually. So
and when was that? Like, was that a year ago, 2 years ago?
Dang, that's a good question. It might have been. I don't know. It definitely was a year ago. It might have been maybe let's see. I think I worked my first event in like September, October. So they probably started like August, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe August or maybe September might have been when I applied somewhere around there. Cause I think my first event was in October that I did with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I got denied instantly. Like I was saying, and I'm not gonna lie, it sucked. But it was cool because like I took that, I was like, wow, I haven't been denied for a casting. I was on like the up and up. Like I applied for SWAT Nation, got that event. That was the biggest events I was doing. A lot of small guys were coming at me. I was doing some really good gigs, and I was on the up and up. And then Esports Arena kind of knocked me back, and I was like, wow, this sucks. This feeling doesn't feel good. I got denied for a job that I really wanted. So, and I said, this is my motivation. I'm going to work so hard. I'm going to grind so hard that nobody will be able to, you can't say no to me because I've put out this resume and it is good. Yeah. And I'm improving and I'm doing what I need to do to become the best. And I use that as motivation. By the way, that's different. That's a different story. Eventually, Esports Arena came out, the 2v2s. And I was, and I'm not just a caster, I'm a viewer. I love Halo. So I was in the chat and I was like, hey, what's up, everybody? And this is where like, to this day, like thinking back at it, I choke up a bit. I'm not even joking. So like I say what's up to everybody, and so many people at me and like, hey, how's it going? This, that, blah, 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 this, that. There's a wall in the chat of people. All I do is say hi. Yeah. And there's a wall in the chat, and then it stops there, and it starts saying, you guys need to get him on the casting. He needs to cast. Why aren't you casting? This is that and the third. And there's a giant wall of like nobody talking except for the Halo community just hyping me up. Like I'm talking about like over here we have 87. That's regular gas. I'm talking premium, the best. And it was such an incredible feeling. And like that's what got them to recognize me. When I did my next SWAT Nation event, I looked through the little chat and I noticed a lot of the admins from the Esports Arena were in there. So they actually were watching me cast when I did the next SWAT Nation event. And then eventually I got DM'd by one of the admins for Esports Arena. And they said, hey, Clutch had an emergency. If you can be ready in about an hour and a half, you can cast. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So mind you, I'm not even at my setup. I'm like, all I have is this 2-in-1 laptop. I had my Astros. I'm like, I don't have a computer. I don't have a stream mic. I'm like, but it doesn't matter. I'm like, I said yes. I said, I didn't think about the money. I didn't think about the numbers. I didn't think about anything else I said, I'm just going to go in. I'm going to have a good time. My co-caster Shy was going to have a good time. And the audience gonna have a good time, and we're gonna have a blast together. That's all I care. I'm gonna lay it all on the line and cast like it was my last moment ever.
Yeah.
And fast forward, they hired me for once every 3 weeks, and then eventually I got on once every other week. And they've been so supportive and amazing to me, and they've opened so many doors for me. And I truly appreciate what Esports Arena has done for me. So shout out to those guys. Thank you for giving me a shot, guys.
Yeah, shout out to Esports Arena. And if anyone that doesn't know, you should definitely jump into Google and YouTube and have a quick search, because they're doing some awesome stuff, not just in the Halo scene, in a lot of different FPS scenes, but the platform that they're building is going to be huge. So it's definitely worth going and checking out. And hopefully you'll see some familiar faces like Tony's in there casting even more and more regularly into the future. So yeah, anyway, good shout out to those guys. Okay, so obviously you gave us the story of the background of why you started the content creation side of things. Was there anyone that kind of you were watching that kind of inspired you to do it as well? Like, did you have any kind of role models in the scene before you started?
I guess there's two sides to my content creating, because I my casting and then my streaming. So I would say on the casting side of things, Bravo. And I liked Bravo because he was a coach of Triggers Down back in the day. He was a good player, a darn good coach. And he was just so knowledgeable and was so articulate. And I was like, wow, if I ever become a caster, I would want to be that. Little did I know I was going to be a hype man, and I'm going to stutter all of my words. But in my mind, I'm like, that is a professional caster. And when I look at people like the Shyway, to this day, I'm like, yeah, that's like a Bravo. Like I see Bravo in him. Like that's Bravo.
Yeah.
But that to me is like casting at its perfection when you're so articulate with your words and they almost flow and create almost music. I'm not even, like, that's how I see it. Like certain casters, and it's so incredible. So that was one. And then I heard Golden Boy, because I knew I couldn't be Bravo. I don't have that kind of vocabulary. I'm not fancy. Like when I see Bravo, I see myself
get different
fancy
personality traits. Yeah,
exactly. But then I saw Golden Boy, and I'm like, dude, I can be Golden Boy. Like I can't be him, but I'm like, his hype, his energy, what he puts into the broadcast and brings it to life and makes things exciting. I'm like, that's what I can do. Like that's me right there. So I would say those two from the casting side of things. And then Twitch, I would say nap times. Like nap times is just, I always pride myself in being different. Like I go against the grain. That's how I am. I go against the grain. And when I look at streamers right now, the top streamers are either professional players, former professional players, some kind of competitive professionals at a high level. And then you see Nap Times. Like Nap Times he's a very, very good player, but he's far from a pro. He's a SWAT kid. He created this SWAT community around him. And he's like the face of SWAT Nation, the leader of SWAT Nation right now. When he hosts these tournaments, they're big prize pools. They get big names coming. But it's incredible to see what he's done. And that's why if I was going to pick a grassroots partner, like right here, right now, I want myself to get partnered or whatnot. But dude, like if you're not looking at what Danny's done, like I'm talking, like you're out of your mind. Like he's so underrated. It's incredible. It really is. Like I said, look at Twitch when he's streaming. When he's averaging those high viewers, you would not expect like a SWAT kid, like what? But he knows how to entertain an audience. When you come into his chat, he makes you feel like family. Even if you're the first time you come in, he literally exemplifies what a professional streamer should be. So shout out to Danny. I'll never say anything nice about you ever again. Let me tell you.
That's it. Well, someone's gonna have to clip that and just put it on replay for him, so we can just keep watching the compliment over and over. But okay, that's cool. So you had some inspiration there as well, and I think that the really key thing you said there as well is that you go against the grain and you do things differently. And I remember that was the first thing that I thought when I saw you commentating over a match and you were doing it with Shyway. At first, I was like, okay, these guys are like the complete opposite ends of the spectrum. And originally I was kind of like, do I like this? Like, this is like, I'm not sure, it was so high pace and then a lot of knowledge, but really calm. And then it was so much passion. I was like, whoa. And then after I watched it for 10 minutes, I was like, man, both of these guys have got so much talent, it's just talent. And that was why, and like, it's been great to kind of watch the journey, because I feel like you've both even more settled into the things that make you, and give you your own personality and make you your own level of kind of celebrity, and I can't wait for, especially like, when I DM'd you and said, do you want to do this? I was like, yeah, it'd be good. We'll do it again in like 6 months, in a year's time, once you've blown up. And I honestly believe it, man. Like, I believe it. You're going to be a big name, and Shyway already is, but, everybody has so much more room to grow and not just be Halo specific, but have people from all different communities that want to be a part of what you're building. And I really believe that. So I'm glad that to hear you even recognize that you are different, and the stuff that you're doing has got a different personality to it. Because, we don't want recycled stuff. Everyone wants someone a bit new, someone who's a bit different, and that's the stuff that kind of forces everybody else to improve. If everybody can sit there and commentate, then it's going to be boring, right? But like, I keep going on a ramble then. So
no, it's funny that you mentioned that, because like I said, when I look at Shyway, I think of like this, he's a polished, articulate, and his words just flow. And when I look at myself, I see myself as a raw talent. Like, and I feel like sometimes I got to rein myself in. I'm not even like with all the film review and stuff that I've been doing and try to improve. Like, I had to tone the hype down. I've had to learn how to control, like, maybe start off at one level, raise it up and whatnot, as opposed to just being at 100% every time. And it's been a journey. It really has been of me just trying to get better as a caster. But that's where I feel like it's almost a good thing. That's why I feel like me and Alex work so well together.
Yeah.
I feel like he brings out the best of me, and I do the same for him. Because when we're on the broadcast together, sometimes I have to poke fun. I'm like, bro, that's why I'm the yin to your yang. Like you're too much in the stats. You're too much in the analytics. Like crack a dad joke. Come on, man. Let's have some fun. So I feel like we balance each other really well, and we bring out the best out of one another. I love Alex. Shout out to you, Shaway.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Okay, and I got a little bit off track because I wanted to find out a little bit more about the actual content. So,
sorry.
If anyone that doesn't know you, how would you describe the content that you create? Is it mainly based around streaming? Is it mainly based around YouTube? What kind of platforms are you on, and what's it around? What are you trying to create?
So I always joke around. I always say I'm good at many things, great at nothing. So I literally want to be an overall Halo personality. So, you'll see me casting. When you turn on my stream, you'll see me dressed up in a mask and cape, running through matchmaking at Onyx level or whatnot. That's what I'm streaming. And then you'll see me on my YouTube, and it's a totally different side of me. I'm behind the desk and I'm breaking down a whole tournament bracket, and giving you the analytics. I'm doing my plays of the week videos where I give a hype commentary, but then go in and really break down what makes the clip so incredible, and try and really display my coach-like knowledge and what I bring to the table. Even in my my behind the screen series, same thing. I do interviews kind of like you're doing right now. Then I do like a fun little 1v1. That's more for like the laughs. But then we hunker down and we do film review, because I do a lot of analytic works. I work for Alpha Dogs and doing analytics as far as their film reviews and whatnot. I do personal ones as well. So there's a lot of sides to me, and I don't want to classify myself in one specific metric, one specific item. If you see competitive Halo, I want you to think Tony. Cool. Like in all, like casting, streaming, analytics, I'm all over the place.
yeah, I love that, and you do a really good job of all of it. I'm just, for anyone that's trying to, what's your app for YouTube? How do you find you on YouTube?
If you go to the search, why not be casting? Why not space? Why not? Which is Tony spelled backwards. YNOT, the letter B, and then casting. And and I just started YouTube about 2 months ago, so there's not much content on there, but I would say the little bit of content that is on there, it's good. It's good. Like every time there was a tournament that came out, like the Pro Series, Esports Arena, all that, I went in and broke down the bracket afterwards. And one of my series, my post tournament series, I did the plays of the week videos. So you guys had a lot of fun with that. If you guys check it out.
Yeah, awesome.
Shameless plug.
All right. And I'm going to link it down below if you're watching it on YouTube, or if you're listening to it as a podcast. If you check in the description of the episode, you'll be able to see all of the links to see Tony's stuff. I just hit you with the sub then as well on both my personal account and the Divine Mind account. I can't wait to get in and start watching some of that stuff. So, but that's awesome. So you've got YouTube, you've got the streaming, you've got the casting. Is there any other stuff that you're doing as well, or is that a pretty good sum up of it all?
No, I mean, like I said, I think that's exactly where I'm at. And like I said, I also do analytic work. So if anybody wants to take their game up another level, there's you can grind and run matchmaking, run eights, and but there's only so far you can improve unless you're going back and watching your film, and sometimes even getting a third person in there. Like, hey, well, I'll watch film. We'll watch film together and whatnot, and we'll just have a conversation. Not like me trying to be like, look down on anybody. Like, oh my, you should have done this and this is that. Like, no, let's have a converson. Like, okay, what were you think? What were you thinking when you did this?
Yeah.
Is there any other ways? Like, okay, next time you approach that, would you want to do the same thing? Maybe why don't we think about this and just have good conversation? And that's what I bring to the table. But yeah, twitch.tv/why not be casting, twitter.com/why not be reckless, and then YouTube, why not be casting as well.
Awesome, man. It'll all be in the description, easy for people, everyone to find. So with the content creation that you're doing, what do you reckon is the biggest challenge that you face as far as content creation goes?
Um, Biggest challenge, I would say probably balancing content creation and my work life. So like I want to do so much. Like I want to stream every single day. I want to put out a YouTube video every week. I want to cast multiple times a week, and then I also work 6 days a week, 9 hours a day. So it's impossible for me to cram everything I want to do. There's not enough hours in a day, especially like I said, I'll come home and I work my 9 to 5, come home from work. Sometimes I'll just need to take a nap. Like I'm already tired from that. Then but I'll go in. If I'm not casting, I'm making a YouTube video. If I'm not doing a YouTube video, oh no, we're streaming all night. And it's just a constant grind. I've made a lot of sacrifices in my personal life to pursue this.
Yeah.
Like I'm like luckily COVID like stopped everybody from going out and whatnot, but I already made the sack. I'm like, hey, I'm not going out every weekend. Like, that's it. I'm trying to be something in the Halo. I'm trying to make it in the Halo, and I want people to recognize my name. So I gotta grind, and sacrifice had to be made.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I really truly hope that you're going to get a little bit of momentum, even just from our small audience that's watching this, because I think you've got so much passion. And if anybody that's watching this, and if I've done anything that's helped you or that's motivated you to do more, or anything that you've taken value out of, and you want to do something to repay me, you can follow this man on all of his social medias and making sure that he's helping support his content, because you can see the amount of passion and the amount of effort that he's willing to put into it. And I think that when you remove excuses, which is what you've done, you can wow people with what you're getting done. And I think you're doing that. A lot of people kind of come to me all the time, oh, I don't have enough viewers, or this isn't happening, whatever. Like last YouTube video that I put out got 12 views in the last week, and but it's a passion that you kind of have for it, right? And I know that the quality of what it is and that it's improving is going to hopefully bring more value to people when they do eventually get there. But when you're streaming and doing all that, how often do you play? Is it every single day that you're actually playing?
I would, if I'm not casting or making a YouTube video, which usually stops me from playing that day, I'm playing and streaming 5 to 6 times a week. I'll try to get recently. I've been trying to give myself one day off because it's been a lot. Like just last Sunday, I crashed. I had off for work, and luckily I did, because I couldn't move. Like the whole day I spent in bed because my body was like, you just need to chill out, bro.
Yeah, I get it, man. And sometimes it's good to have those rest and recovery days. You're someone that'll probably really benefit from. We just announced our partnership with PH360. Quick shout out to those guys. They're our first major sponsor. If you haven't already, I'm going to link you the video. We're doing a 4-week program with our pro athlete guys to kind of fine tune it a little bit. But it sounds like you're someone that would really benefit from that, because it's about trying to help gamers perform at an elite level. Because the stuff that we're doing when we're gaming for hours, when we're creating content for hours, when we're doing that is elite. Like people don't do that every day, right? And so we have to think about it as like an athlete would. What are some things that we can be doing that's going to be better for our health, that helps us? Is it resting, recovering? Is it working in our environment? Is it having some kind of exercise and nutrition help? Like, what is it that we need to improve? So, but that's really cool to hear. So when you are playing 5 to 6 times a week, how long do you normally play for? What's a normal session? How long does that go for?
I'll get on between 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern, and I'll play usually to about 1 o'clock in the morning, maybe 2. Recently, I've been playing a lot with Frosty. Frosty's been inviting me to play. We played I think it was maybe 11 times over the past 2 weeks. So when I'm playing with him, I tend to lose track of time. I'll grind to 3 or 4 in the morning. I'm like, whoa, I have to work in the morning. What am I doing? I got to wake up in a couple hours. But I would say, I guess 8 to 9 p.m. is when I start, and then 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. is probably where I try to cap myself off.
Yeah. So normally 5 or 6 hours, 5+ times a week, something like that.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. That's a whole lot of grinding, whole lot of effort going in. So, and that's no excuse for everyone watching this. You can catch him because he's live a lot. So, yeah, make sure you set. This is something that I encourage everyone to do. If you really want to support someone as well, you set notifications on live, so you get an actual alert that pops up and says, Tony streaming. The guys from Divine Mind just uploaded a new YouTube video, posted something somewhere. You should have the notifications live so you can be in there and you can show the support. That stuff helps all the content creators so much. So, and Tony's given you at least 5 times a week that you can do that with his Twitch. So make sure that you subscribe to him doing there. So as far as the commentating goes and the casting goes, what do you reckon is the best competition that you've been a part of?
The best competition, I would obviously Esports Arena. That's consistently been part of my biggest audience that I've casted for. Recently, I've been doing the B streams for the HGS Pro Series with LVT Productions. It'd be like me, Shyway, Yu-Gi-Oh Tools, Nighty Night, and Louis V Titan. Shout out to them. And I've been doing broadcasts with them, and that's been really interesting because like that was just like Esports Arena. That we got a lot of like good teams, but the pro series, that was tippy top. That was the best of the best. So I would say those, and then also the SWAT Nation events. Because man, let me tell you, man, these when Bound and Falcon, all of them come out for the SWAT events, it's crazy. It is the snipers one too. Like, oh my gosh, it's incredible. But I would say those are my top 3 easily.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I had it. What should be the next one that I compete in? Because I had it as one of my goals for my personal branding as Hydrizny that I should be doing some more competitions. What's the next upcoming one that I should be a part of? Do you know?
Well, there's a co-ed tournament on the 17th. One guy, one boy, one girl. That's by Hydra, being hosted by LVT. There's a Halo 3 SWAT tournament on the 24th for SWAT Nation. Esports Arena is coming up back very soon. I think Pro Series come back.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do the SWAT Nation one. I think I'm going to do that. Yeah, I'm going to lock myself in, and after this, I'm going to jump on Noob Combo. Shout out to the guys over at Noob Combo. If you don't know this, want to be more present in the Halo community, part of all the events, because there's actually quite a lot that happens every month as well. Noob Combo do an absolutely amazing job of putting together all of the events that are running the prize pools, making it an easy, convenient place to sign up for the events as well. When we're not sponsoring them or anything, they're just honestly the best at what they do. So make sure that you're following and supporting Noob Combo, because people like that are the guys that make this community great. So awesome. Well, it's the SWAT one.
It's funny as you mentioned that. I just started recently keeping a calendar, but before I kept a calendar, I would just go to noobcombo.com. And that was my calendar. I would look up like, oh yeah, I'm working that event. I'm working that event. I'm working that event. Like I was working a whole bunch of. I'm like, that was my calendar. But like, what time is that? Like, yeah. So yes, Noob Combo. Thank you for keeping me organized. Otherwise, I would have missed a lot of tournaments.
Yeah. Well, they've helped me a lot since I got here. Lunchy from Halo Australia actually put me onto them as soon as I started saying that we wanted to do tournaments and that type of stuff. So yeah, shout out to those guys. They do a lot supporting the community, and I really appreciate that. Last kind of few questions, because I want to wrap it up. What have you got coming up that you're excited about? What's like the next big thing for you that people can look forward to seeing?
I guess I got 2 things. I recently released my casting montage trailer, and it's about 3 minutes long, and it's so the love that video has gotten has been incredible. It's actually my pinned tweet right now. It has like 5K views on freaking on Twitter, and everybody's had nothing but positive things, because again, I pride myself in being different. Like I like a lot of casters have a highlight reel, and it's incredible. It displays what they do, and it's great for when they want to send it off to different place that might hire him as a resume piece, a resume attachment. But I was like, I want a casting highlight reel, but I'm like, I want this to be not geared towards the people behind the desk hiring people. I want this to be geared towards the public. So it's exactly like a montage, like an actual like high tense, like campy style montage, but it's me casting along to music, so it's so there's a 3-minute trailer that came out, and that's definitely check that out too. You're gonna love it. And the full montage will come out.
Yeah.
The full ones that come out soon. It's to be 8 to 9 minutes long. And also, like I said, I think I talked about off screen. My behind the screen project. I did my first one with Commonly, and us in the esports realm, we don't do a good job of letting people know who these players are as people. Like when I heard a comment, I'm like, oh yeah, he's the fastest flag runner in the game, puts shots and everything, knows how to play, just plays the game properly. Like, I like that guy. But then I did my behind the screen. We did an interview 1v1, and then we did film review. And in the interview, I found out he loves to cook. I found out that he battles a lot because he used to be overweight. He was getting a little bit overweight. So he loves to cook unhealthy things, but he's trying to eat healthy. So it's like an inner battle between them, which is hilarious. And then when he gained that weight, he started playing basketball. I'm like, oh wait, you started playing basketball? I like playing basketball. Yeah. And it's funny because while I was doing this, it was on my YouTube, but we did it live on Twitch. It was funny because Straight Sick, his own teammate, pops in the chat. He's like, wait, you're playing basketball? He's like, I'm playing basketball since I was 4 years old. I'm like, your teammates, but we've done such a bad job of putting our professional players in the right spotlight, just letting the audience know who they are as people. That's why when I'm casting, I have 150 player bio, and I've had people submit it. I've done my own research, hobbies, everything about people, like about players. Like I know that Super CC20's out of Coatesville, Pennsylvania. I know all of these players, where they're from, their hobbies, everything about them, and I put that in the broadcast because I want people to know that Article is a gamer, so you're always sitting inside. We're all gamers, but he loves fishing. He loves camping. He's outdoor. So a lot of outdoorsy people are going to say, hey, oh wait, Article likes that. I'm going to root for Article. And that's one thing I've said that I wanted to do as a commentator is I wanted to gain that knowledge, have 150 player bio, every time I have a player that's in there, I make sure that everybody knows about that player. So I would say another way I'm doing that is my behind the screen series. And like I said, interview 1v1 and then film review. With the professional player or top amateur player. I already have the first one done with Commonly, and I have a few that are coming out very soon. So it'll be once a month.
Awesome, man. And I love it. So again, we'll have links to that type of stuff down the bottom if you want to see it. I was having a quick little geeze on Twitter as well. I can't wait to sit down and actually see. When do you reckon the full thing is coming out of your montage, your casting montage?
It's still in the works. So we have a lot of the format down. There's a couple of things. I'm not a perfectionist, but when I do something, when I do anything, I give 150%. Like I don't, half anything. Like, so there's a few things that I'm working on before I can finalize it. But I will say it will be out before Infinite. That's awesome. The best I can give.
Cool. Yeah, hey, well, that's fair enough. When we get Infinite, there'll be a lot of things to look forward to. So I had kind of two more things that I wanted to ask you. And the first one kind of feeds off what you were just saying about the player behind the screen. So give us an overview, like who is Tony when he's not casting and when he's not doing this? What's the stuff that you like outside of the gaming side of things? What's important to you?
Well, I mean, recently it's only been Halo. It's only been gaming at this point, I used to play basketball. Like I said before, I was very good at basketball. I played varsity in my sophomore year, which was like a big deal. Yeah. Even though my coach, I didn't appreciate it back then, but I appreciate it now. Like he always said, seniors get playtime. Yeah. That's it. Like that was his rules. Like the senior year, we didn't go to a great high school as far as athletics and whatnot. So those seniors may not have played college basketball. So his rule was if you played freshman, sophomore, junior year, and you're playing varsity senior year, you're gonna get the play time because you earned it. And I was a sophomore coming in. I played varsity, but I didn't get thrown in the garbage time because the seniors got the playing time. Yeah. So basketball has always been a big part of my life for a very long time. I also, I'm a lot of people don't know this. I love poker. I'm a big poker player. We have a group chat that we with a lot of Halo players that we play poker with. We'll play with a lot of Call of Duty pros too. At one point, poker is such a good game. I shouldn't say it's a terrible game for terrible people, but that's why I love it.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so would you say this kind of sums you up? Halo, poker, basketball. That's kind of Tony in a nutshell. Is there anything missing from that?
As much as I hate to say it, I recently started getting into anime.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but I recently started watching anime.
That's cool. What did you start watching?
I did Naruto and Boruto. I did Hunter x Hunter, My Hero Academia. Yeah. I'm currently watching Black Clover right now. There's probably a few that I'm missing. I watch like the main ones. And then I get this like Shy was really into anime. Like he'll give you some ones. I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, what couch did you find that under?
Yeah, fair enough. I haven't watched any for ages because my girlfriend doesn't really like anime, so I haven't really kind of been as consistent. If we're watching something, it's like, you know, a Netflixy thing. But ones that I really loved, if you want any suggestions, is I really liked Attack on Titan. Is really fantastic.
I started that.
Yeah, that I thought that was really good. Didn't quite like it at the start, but kind of evolved on me. Like a funny, lighthearted one that I really liked as well is, oh man, what's it called? Seven Deadly Sins. It's on Netflix.
Oh my gosh, I forgot to mention. I loved Seven Deadly Sins. Very good. And then Demon Slayer too. I forgot to mention that up there too. Yeah. Yes.
And there's another one. Oh man, what is it? It's another Netflix one, but I can't remember. Anyway, I'm sure it'll come to me.
Is it Sword Art Online? Maybe I know it's a big Netflix one.
No, I have seen that as well, but it'll come to me and I'll tweet it at you or something. So we can make suggestions as well because I love hearing that. And the last thing, right, is, and I want this to be a consistent question I'm going to kind of ask everybody because I talk about it a lot with our new recruits and people that are a part of Divine Mind, is if you could see like a dream version of Tony, right? What is that dream? So when I say that, I'll elaborate just to give you some time to think about the answer. Is, you know, what's he doing for a living? You know, how much money is he making? Is he buying a house? You know, like, is he traveling a lot? You know, is he wearing really nice clothing? Is he got grills? You know, I don't know. What is he? Is he in rap music? I don't know. What, you know, like, what is the like dream version of Tony look like? What's the kind of story behind that?
I mean, I almost see this a little unrealistic, but I guess it's possible. So I guess a dream version of me would probably be doing casting, professional caster. If somehow that managed to make its way, while streaming full time. I'm talking, I don't want to work full time anymore. Where I want to have gaming and content creating be my full-time job. Now, mind you, I would have to make a whole lot of money in that field in order for me to warrant. So that's why I'm like, it's kind of tough, but who knows? Hey, I'm dreaming. So just a Dream Tony. So Dream Tony is making six figures.
Yeah.
Dream Tony is making six figures at a minimum. Dream Tony he doesn't have a huge house. He has a small house. He has two cars. For some, I need two. I have two cell phones. I need two cars. I don't know. It's two cars, but they're moderate cars. You know,
is one like the cruising car, and then one's like the driving car.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, one's the one I already paid for. I financed. I just didn't trade it in for the new car that I got. Yeah. I just kept it as the day-to-day driver. That's so again moderate. Dream Tony dresses real nice. Dream Tony doesn't wear t-shirts like this. Dream Tony dresses the part. So the Dream, they don't look. So he may have a small house, but Dream Tony looks like he got a big house. Yeah. He never gets too scruffy either. He has a nice haircut, always well groomed. Dream Tony gets a massage twice a week.
Yeah.
Dream. I'm having fun with this. Have you ever noticed?
Keep going.
But yeah, I would definitely say, like, if somehow I was able to make casting and content creating where I made enough money to support myself while also, you know, I have to pay for healthcare on my own and whatnot, and making enough where I don't have to work full time, that would be absolutely incredible. And who knows, maybe even down the road, Dream Tony also is doing so good that 343 and Microsoft say, hey, look, Dream Tony, we want you to join us, and we want you to be an ambassador or a liaison for the community, because we want to be more open and we want somebody to be the forefront. And I think Dream Tony, I don't know why I'm speaking in this third person. I think Dream Tony would be perfect for this.
Yeah, awesome, man. I think Dream Tony would be as well. I think current Tony right now is the type of person that's idolizing to get there, and if he keeps working the way he is, he's going to get there. So I loved that. That's the first time I asked that question, and that's exactly what I was kind of looking for, man. So thanks for setting the precedence for everyone else has to come after you to answer that question.
I'm sorry, I forgot one thing. So Dream Tony also works with a very big, or, you know, he gets big himself, works with Ninja or somebody. And one thing that I want to do is, so I grew up in not the best of neighborhoods, and gaming and basketball kept me out of trouble.
Yeah.
It kept because the one thing that I say this all the time, if you're in a bad area but you have a hobby, you're okay. If you're in a bad area and you're bored, that's trouble.
Trouble, man.
So I would love to open up like an esports arena LAN center like they have in the Walmarts, but in my area, or maybe even like a similar area. And obviously the money stuff, we'll have trading card tournaments and gaming tournaments and game nights and yada, yada, yada. But one thing that's good that it has to have is an after school program.
Yeah.
Where if you're coming out of school, you come in with your ID, you come in, you'll have like a little small, like lunchy dinner kind of thing. You'll be able to play games for a free or a very heavily discounted rate. And we're going to give you an opportunity to not be in the streets and doing stuff that you're not supposed to be doing.
Dream Tony is doing some fucking work, man.
I forgot to. I just thought I was talking about that with a buddy of mine, and I was like, "Whoa, this is a perfect job for Dream Tony to start this." So I'm working with a really big person to get this started, and because it'll be a regular business, but it has to have that after school program. That's the bread and butter, where for 2 hours a day, where a working mother is not at home and not able to pick up her son from work. No, we got a bus, we got a shuttle. You come down, and as long as you don't cause any trouble in our business, we're open for you for 2 hours a day. And then when your mother gets off of work, she come pick you up, or father, whatever.
I love it, man. That's such a good idea. I actually used to worked in part of, and then took over a learn to swim business. And one of the things that happened consistently there is parents just made their kids do swimming lessons because it was cheaper than childcare. And so like that was swimming, right? But if you could do that for gaming, the kids would actually want to be there. And they'd be doing things, learning things. And that's one of the things that the Divine Mind is all about, is kind of, if we can get kids into that type of environment where they can learn and grow and develop some really good personality traits like honesty and trust, and get some things into their head, like being healthy is important and whatever, and having a better balance, a life balance, and understanding these things. So I love that idea, and I'm all for working with you on it as well when we get to that point, man.
We're gonna do something. The Divine gaming. We'll figure it out. I was trying to do something with Divine Mind. I don't know.
the cogs are turning, man. I love it. All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up there. So, guys, if you want to be a part of the journey for watching Tony, all of his links are going to be in the description down below. Make sure that you check him out. Show him some love. Make sure that you drop him comments, you're liking. You've got those notifications on for him as well. And you know what? Do the same thing for the Divine Mind, obviously, as well. We want to make sure that the content we're putting out there is getting seen regularly. Everything will be down below. And that's pretty much everything. Is there anything you wanted to say before we wrap up?
Actually, as much as I've talked, I don't think I've missed.
I know, sorry, this is just because I forgot, and then I'll let you finish up again as well. I wanted to make sure that I ask everybody that comes on to recommend the next person or tag somebody that I should do the next interview with. So who's going to be the person that you'd like to put up for the next interview?
Well, I kind of talked about him earlier. Nap Times, I'm sorry. I know you hate interviews. I know you do, but I think what you do is so important for the community. So I'm adding you, Nap Times. You're going to get on this show. You're going to entertain the Divine Mind's audience. You're going to share your audience with Divine Mind, because you are a gem when it comes to streaming and when it comes to Halo. Like, nobody's doing what you're doing the way you're doing it. And you are an inspiration to me and many others. So you get on here and you share your story.
Absolutely, man. I can't wait to hear it. So Nap Time is going to be in your DMs soon, and we're going to organize a time to sit down and chat. But everyone, thanks so much for watching again. Make sure you leave some comments. Let us know what you liked about Tony. If you didn't like Tony, what you liked about me, what you didn't like about me, just leave a comment. I don't really care what it says. But Tony, thanks so much again for joining. Anything you wanted to add to wrap up?
No, I think I said enough, but yeah, I mean, guys, I obviously follow Divine Mind. And again, I want to thank you so much for having me. Like, I've done a few interviews, but I've never been an interviewee. Yeah. So it was interesting being on the other side of things. It's not really my specialty, I don't think, but hopefully I gave you a lot of content. I hope your fan base loves it. And you guys love me. Like I said, twitter.com/wine_b_casting. Reckless. Twitch.tv/wine_b_casting. Definitely check me out. Follow me. I'm all over the place, guys.
Awesome. All right. Well, peace out. Thanks so much again, guys. Drop that comment, get involved, be a part of it. We all love it. So